On the day she was supposed to marry the man she loved, Isabella Reyes was betrayed by everyone she trusted. Chapter 1. Hook. As Isabella opens the morning newspaper, the headline freezes her blood. Laurent Holdings CEO Adrien Laurent dies in private jet crash tomorrow. She stares at the date. Tomorrow. She remembers this headline from her previous life. But she also remembers something else. If Adrien dies, she will lose the only person powerful enough to help her destroy everyone who murdered her. For the first time since being reborn, she decides to change someone else's fate. And somewhere across the city, Adrien Laurent looks out from the top floor of his skyscraper. For reasons he cannot explain, he feels that someone is about to walk into his life and change it forever. Chapter 2. The Man Who Was Meant to Die. The morning sunlight poured through the floor-to-ceiling windows of Isabella Reyes' bedroom, but her attention remained fixed on the newspaper spread across her desk. Laurent Holdings CEO Adrien Laurent expected to attend the Aurora Charity Gala tonight. Her fingers tightened around the page. In her previous life, Adrien Laurent had boarded his private jet after the gala. Before sunrise, the aircraft exploded over the sea. The media ruled it an accident, but rumors whispered of sabotage. She had never cared then. Back then, she was too busy planning her wedding to Ethan Cruz, believing her future was bright. Now she knew better. If Adrien dies tonight, she murmured, my enemies will become untouchable. She folded the newspaper and stood. This time, she would save the man destined to die. Across the city, the towering headquarters of Laurent Holdings pierced the skyline. Inside the executive boardroom, silence filled the room as Adrien Laurent reviewed the quarterly reports. The directors exchanged uneasy glances. At only 29 years old, Adrien had transformed Laurent Holdings into one of the country's most powerful corporations. His sharp instincts and uncompromising standards had earned him both admiration and fear. The acquisition proposal? He asked without looking up. Approved, a director answered nervously. The overseas expansion? On schedule. Adrien nodded once. Meeting adjourned. The executives exhaled in relief as he walked out, his tailored black suit and calm expression masking the weight he carried. His assistant, Daniel, caught up with him. Sir, your security team has finalized tonight's itinerary. Adrien glanced at the schedule. Aurora Charity Gala. Departure at 11:30 p.m. Private flight immediately after. Very well, Adrien said. He didn't know that someone, somewhere, was counting the hours until that flight. Meanwhile, Isabella stood before her wardrobe. Elegant gowns hung in neat rows, but tonight wasn't about appearances. It was about survival. She chose a midnight blue dress, simple, refined, and easy to move in if things went wrong. Looking into the mirror, she barely recognized herself. The timid woman from her previous life was gone. In her place stood someone determined to rewrite fate. That evening, the Aurora Grand Hotel shimmered with crystal chandeliers and flashes of camera lights. Business tycoons, celebrities, and politicians filled the ballroom. Isabella stepped inside, drawing curious glances. Though the Reyes family was well known, few expected her to attend alone. She ignored the whispers. Her eyes searched the crowd until they found him. Adrien Laurent. He stood near the stage in a perfectly tailored black tuxedo, speaking with several investors. His expression remained calm, almost unreadable, but there was a quiet authority about him that commanded the room. For a moment, Isabella simply watched. In her previous life, she had seen him only from afar. Now she realized how alone he looked despite being surrounded by people. As if sensing her gaze, Adrien turned. Their eyes met. Time seemed to pause. He frowned ever so slightly, surprised by the unfamiliar woman who looked at him with such certainty. Isabella took a steady breath and walked toward him. Mr. Laurent, she said politely. Adrien studied her for a moment. Have we met? Not yet, she replied with a faint smile. But if you leave tonight on your private jet, she lowered her voice, you won't live to see tomorrow. Daniel instinctively stepped between them. Miss, that's an outrageous statement. Adrien raised a hand, signaling his assistant to stop. His eyes never left Isabella's. Tell me, he said quietly, why should I believe a stranger who claims to know my future? Isabella met his gaze without hesitation. Because I'm trying to stop a murder. The music continued to play, and guests laughed nearby, unaware that a single conversation had just changed the course of two lives.